It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, we are both back. It's time for rAVe TV, and finally you get Gary and Steph instead of just Gary or Steph.
Yes,
we're
it
both
was
back at the same time.
It was a funny couple of weeks there where we just we were not in the same place at any time.
It's a busy industry in the spring, so we just have to deal with that kind of stuff. So how were your travels, Steph? How was Enterprise Connect?
Good. But honestly, it's been nice being home and in my own bed for the first time in 2 weeks. So that's been really good because I was on vacation for a week. I was in London, and then I came back and was home for 2 days, and then immediately went to Florida and then did Enterprise Connect, and now I'm finally home again. But I think I'm home now for I want to say a month or two, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's I'm getting ready to go to E4, as you know. I think I'll be back in if everything goes well, I'll be back to do this live because I'm gonna take a red eye so I can get back after that show, so I should be okay. But I think the big news of the entire week is definitely your birthday. That's a big deal obviously around here. So that Steph has a birthday.
That's a big deal.
Tomorrow.
Yes, my birthday is tomorrow. I will be 29, so it's not the most exciting birthday in the world. But honestly, my 30th birthday, I will probably make a giant deal about it. But this birthday, 29, it's a normal birthday. But I have been doing something every night because that's something that I typically do on my birthday week. I make my friends do something with me every single night of the week of my birthday. So last night I went and saw Scream 6 again. That's the second time I saw it in theaters. Because as you know, Gary, I love those movies.
Scary movies, don't you?
I love a scary movie. I love to be scared. What can I say? I don't know what that says about me. I'll probably talk about that with my therapist soon. But
so I'm gonna tell everybody what I got you for your birthday, because
you got me something for my birthday.
This is gonna define Steph in a way that everyone in the office knows, but nobody else in the industry knows. But before I tell her what I got her for her birthday, I want to remind everyone you're watching rAVe TV, which is our live weekly TV show. It's the industry's only live TV show that covers AV, UCC, and digital signage. Comes to you live every Wednesday at noon Eastern, which is 6 p.m. in Europe, 5 p.m. in the UK, and 9 a.m. I should say in California.
Yep.
And we come to you live on ravepubs.com, on YouTube, and on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, all simultaneously. We are streaming everywhere. So, Steph, I'm going to have to tell them something that you probably don't want people to know. So Steph loves this crazy, crazy, crazy drink, which is called Screwball. That's peanut butter whiskey. It's the grossest thing ever. And she loves it. And I got her 2 bottles of this stuff. That if she doesn't decide to drink it, she could probably use it as gas if she has a problem with her car. But it's literally peanut butter flavored whiskey.
Yes. Thank you, Gary. That's a lovely gift. No, I'm fine with everyone knowing that. I'm not a whiskey guy. I've tried good whiskey, I've tried bad whiskey, I've tried everything in between, and I just couldn't get into it until this peanut butter whiskey came along. And it's good. I like it. And if that makes me weird, oh well.
I wouldn't say weird. It's just an odd thing. That's all.
Well,
I tried it though because of you. I did try it because of you. I still have all of it except for the first sip of it.
But did you do a little? I know you're lactose intolerant. So did you do a little oat milk? Did you do a little chocolate liqueur with it? With that,
I did a chocolate. I did a chocolate liqueur my vision was this was going to be an amazing Reese's peanut butter cup, and it was just sort of like fake chocolate, fake peanut butter flavored Reese's peanut butter drinkable thing.
You're like a very big chocolate person though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'll share that about you since you're telling my business to everyone. You literally will not drink coffee unless it's a mocha.
That's correct. That is accurate. That is 100% accurate.
You're like a bit of a chocolate snob, so that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think Hershey's makes good chocolate. No,
you're really picky about it.
I just don't like wax in my chocolate. I've really gotten into Vidiri lately. If y'all are interested in, there's a chocolate store in Raleigh, North Carolina called Vidiri, and it's owned by a couple that grew up together, and they have their own chocolate shop. and they make the chocolate in Raleigh, North Carolina, but they get the chocolate. They should make the chocolate bars, but they, and by the way, they only have dark chocolate. They only have 53% and higher, and they get it from all over the country. So you are all over the world. So you can taste the different flavors of chocolate based on where it's grown. And it's really good. It's Videri. I don't know, I actually know their website, but it's Videri chocolate. There's a Videri digital signage company, so I don't want you to get confused with them. But
wait, they should do a collab. They're already
they
should. Similar.
By the way, Videri's digital signage products, Steph, are kick ass. They are really cool. They're all, I don't know if anyone's ever noted, if you haven't heard of this company, you should check them out, videri.com. They have no inputs. You only stream to it, and can be mounted any direction that you want. And they come in all different shapes and sizes. So it's not just a bunch of rectangles. So it's really kind of a cool company.
That is cool.
Yeah. So no HDMI input. It's all part of a network. You tell it exactly how you mounted them to the wall. If you want to make a big video wall out of it with gaps in between, you measure the size of the gaps, and they have a content management program that spreads the content out. It's pretty cool. It's kind of neat. But anyway, I guess we got to get to our news this week.
It's like the things that we have to talk about. Yeah. So first things first, rAVe, one of our sponsors and partners, wanted us to mention its 5-module training series. So this is all about solving hybrid meeting challenges. It's hosted by Jay Deschong, and it's worth 1 CTS-RU of any type, which is honestly kind of rare. So that's a CTS, CTS-I, CTS-D. You get 1 for tuning in. So all you have to do is all you have to do is scan the QR code, and that will take you to the 5-module training series, because solving hybrid meeting challenges is something that we are doing every single day at all of our jobs. So it's very useful.
All day long, you can all broadcast long, or whenever you're watching this, you can scan the QR code, and it'll take you to all the links we're talking about here, so you don't have to write everything down. But if you are on any of the social platforms, we are embedding those links as we talk about each thing. Speaking of Legrand, Steph, I saw some really sad news.
Oh no.
I mean, kind of sad, kind of happy news at the same time on LinkedIn. Joe Cornwell's retiring.
Oh no!
He's only going to be at InfoComm. That dude knows everything about everything.
Yeah.
That's a big loss for the industry, but it's great for him that he's retiring.
Yes, that's it's sad, but it is happy, because you want people to be able to retire and rest.
Yeah, and by the way, there is no retiring for Steph. Steph's got a busy afternoon. Do you not, Steph?
I do have a very busy afternoon, so retirement is not in my near future.
Right.
So
almost immediately after this broadcast, Steph is going to do Replay Enterprise Connect. Steph and 2 other reporters went to Enterprise Connect, scoured the show floor, and what you're going to get at 1 p.m. today is curated coverage from Steph and her team all about Enterprise Connect. Steph, what can we expect?
We can expect, I'm spending a lot of time highlighting the products that I was impressed by. Enterprise Connect is kind of a different show, right? So it's not as flashy as InfoComm or ISC. A lot of it is solutions that, people had to kind of describe to me instead of being able to show me, which I think is starting to change. But there were a lot of product announcements, a lot of really cool new features of Zoom and Teams. So I am excited to be highlighting a few of those and giving everyone a first look. So
and that's at 1 o'clock today. If you want to register, just scan that QR code. It's free to register, and you're going to get some great content, and it's curated coverage, and it's not sponsored coverage. So this is a good opportunity for you to kind of see what we saw at the show. And like I said, there were 3 reporters there at the show. And then tomorrow we're actually going to do Replay ISC West. That's the security show that Megan went to, and she was there with a couple of people as well. And they're going to do Replay ISC West tomorrow at
2:30.
2:30. It's a weird time, but 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. You can scan that QR code, and we automatically send out reminders anytime you sign up for these kinds of things. So that way you don't forget. But anyway, I want to remind everyone, we have a brand new, we haven't really, it's interesting. We haven't really done a official announcement of this, have we, Steph? We spent 2 years redesigning our website, literally 2 years, a little longer than 2 years, redesigning our website. And it wasn't just a cosmetic redesign. We did a whole bunch of stuff in the back end to connect all the launch tools together with the rAVe Pubs and Launch Code, our new emerging tech publication, in addition to our events network, and all that's connected on the back end. That was hard to do, but we launched with a new user interface for a look and design for our websites, which include our microsites. So you'll see at InfoComm a whole new look and design as we get closer to that show. And of course, if you want to check out our website, all of the news, everything we talk about today is at ravepubs.com. And speaking of which, Steph, you've got a guest on to talk about one of the stories that was just posted.
Yes, I do. So I will bring on Bill Thrasher now, who is Vice President of AV Tech Media Solutions. Welcome, Bill. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing well. I'm excited that you are joining rAVe TV today.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
So first of all, for those who might not know, tell me a little bit about AV Tech Media Solutions.
Yeah, we're a commercial AV integrator located here in Metro Atlanta. It's kind of our headquarters, but we've done work all over the country, and we really in the last several years hyper focused kind of our business to the enterprise, right? To the large organizations that need standardization across their entire platform. And one of the metaphors I like to use with a lot of our clients is there's a lot of big commercial integrators out there, and they do good work, but by and large, but we're not the giant guy. We're kind of the more nimble organization. I like to compare us to a speedboat that works really well with aircraft carriers, right? And so we've worked in every major market across the United States over the last several years. My background, I was born into this industry, literally. My dad was a design consultant and
very cool,
pretty well known in the industry for many years. And so I was born, over undering my cables, and entered professionally in 1999. And I've kind of hit every single major role inside of this industry: sweeping floors, bending metal, building racks, certified master level Crestron programmer at one point in time, engineer,
Nice.
Project manager, and now I'm blessed to be able to kind of run our entire operations.
That's kind of rare, right? I feel like most people today, everyone who I have talked to at least, has kind of described their career path in this industry as they kind of just fell in headfirst.
Yeah.
So it's very rare to meet
I was
someone
the opposite.
who...
I was dragged back in kicking and screaming. I tried to join the Marine Corps and escape, and then I met a girl, and famous last words. Yeah.
Very nice. So tell me a little bit about some of your favorite installations of the past few years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a loaded question. And there's so many. I actually look back. I started with a company called Ansho Electronics. They got acquired and shifted, and they are a remnant, I guess, inside of the AVI SPL framework now. They're kind of a piece that was assimilated into that over many different iterations. But going all the way back then, man, we did so many work. I mean, I did a giant system with a 32 by 30, no, maybe a 64 by 64 RGB HV matrix where I had to lace in everything in the rack. And I mean, it's one of those you take pictures of, and we didn't have the internet, social media back then, but I had sexy AV rack work that I got to do, old school, punch down blocks on the back of patch panels and stuff like that. Those are my favorite things to do, to be honest. Sit behind a rack for 4 days and just meticulously wire in every single cable. From a programming standpoint, I did a bunch of work at the Georgia Dome before it got replaced.
Very cool.
I guess that ages me now, right? So some of the buildings are like physically collapsed that I worked on. I mean, I was laughing the other day that I actually worked on Gentner DSPs. Again, you're probably too young. And I figured anybody that actually programmed a Gentner DSP needs to go have a prostate exam. It's kind of one of those. That's where we're at in the world right now.
Nice. Very nice. Nicely said.
Then they're done that, I guess, got all the t-shirts, so to speak. Yeah.
Amazing. So we posted a column for you guys on our site that just went live this morning, and that is all about simplifying things for your users when it comes to the conference room. And that's kind of where we're at today, right? Everyone is needing to meet. Most people are going back into the office at least part of the time. So tell me about the things that, you as an integrator can do to make things easier for that end user coming into a conference room and maybe not knowing what the heck is going on.
I partnered with one of my programmers, Phil Bridges, who's one of my understudies on this particular topic. He's a master level programmer with Crestron, AMX, Extron, I think all the above. I hired him into the industry 15, 16 years ago, and he's become a far better programmer than I ever was. But we share philosophical kind of views on really trying to make things as simple as possible. One of my old adages is I want my mom or my grandma to be able to walk into a room and, figure out, and, without really training them how to use a system.
Right.
And that was something we could control a lot more. Previously, I think it's getting interesting in our world where we're kind of losing control of some of the ability to make customization, and that's got positive and negative connotations to it. But in terms of today's market, with this real hybrid work, BYOD kind of experience, it really comes down to a couple factors. One of which I think is, finding consistency in the platform. And I was at Enterprise Connect this past week too, and I found it really interesting to see how I think we're really dialing in on one or two, maybe a third option, but really I think one or two right now is really kind of from at least the form factor of software that's driving all the stuff behind the scenes. So that helps consistency. Number two, I think, is spatial design and really thinking through the physical aspects of a space and making them intuitive, having the right cameras in the right place. Audio is mission critical, obviously.
Of course.
But even on the idea that people don't have to do anything except whatever comes naturally, literally plug in the USB-C, or if there's some sort of prompt on the screen, like a QR code or something, how easy can we make this to where people don't need formal training to use a space, but they can walk in and kind of hit the ground running with minimal effort?
Do you think it kind of takes thinking, like taking a step back and thinking not as someone in AV, but just as a person of like what seems logical?
Absolutely. And that's hard for us. I think it's really hard for us engineers. I do consider myself in a small way a little bit of a unicorn. I have several programmers on my team. And I love them all. They're all amazing guys, but a lot of times they can get really narrow-minded into that, kind of logic-based kind of world and complexity, trying to oversimplify something into complexity. Yes. And I tend to be one of those guys. I think I'm fairly normal. It's a loaded question. But yeah, let's step back. Let's look at it from a different angle. I think one of the things we haven't done well collectively as an industry, and I'm talking about it, 25 years of experience, is maybe bringing in that outside eye, bringing in that test case user and really walking them through stuff. I think Microsoft and Zoom have comparably done better jobs on that on certain levels.
Yeah.
And yet I think there's some nuance there that hasn't been worked through. I think Microsoft's about to come out with another refresh of their UI. And so therein lies a whole different layer where I don't get to manage that anymore. And if it changes overnight and I have a client that's upset, there's really nothing I can do about it. They're like, well, why did my button move? I don't get to control that as much anymore. So that's just a whole nother philosophical thing we're going to have to work through, I think, as an industry. For sure. Yeah.
Well, last question I have for you is, where can people find more information about your company?
Yeah, so obviously the internet, it's amazing. We're at avtechmedia.com. We're a little bit unique in that obviously we're a full services integration house. We also do, on-site support for many of our clients. And I think one of the cool things we also do is we have an events arm as well. So they allow us to kind of expand some of our services to do exactly what we're doing here, live streaming, production. So that's, I think, a little bit of a unique component with our organization that we got that too. We're on all the social media platforms as well. So I think if you look for AV Tech Media, you'll find us.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Bill.
Awesome.
All right, I'm going to bring Gary back on now.
Yeah, we got an April temp check survey already out. Scan that QR code and take our April temperature check. Now sponsored by Peerless AV. They're going to help us spread the word about our temperature check. They're a great company to partner with, Steph, because they're sitting in the middle of the industry. Everyone uses Peerless devices because they build mounts and kiosks and things like that. So check that out. It's all about sustainability. We're wondering if you actually care about this. How many of you actually care about sustainability? Is it a bunch of hype or is it real? Do people really care? Or does it matter? Are you being forced to do it because your boss says so? Are you being forced to do it because you're in a country that they're forcing you to do it? Or do you really care about this stuff? And what are you doing about it? And that's all there. And by the way, if you click on that link, which if you're watching us on social, that's there now. You can click on it directly. You can actually see the results. If you inside the story, you'll see where you can see the results for the last 3 months temperature check surveys. You know, the last month was about outdoor AV stuff. But hey, I want to talk about one of our other sponsors that we are excited to have represented in the flesh today. We talk a lot about rAVe. They've had a couple of really good years. I've actually used you, Rachel, as an example of a company that could have grown more if it weren't for supply chain issues in the industry. You are being held up as a company that couldn't ship as many products as you could have shipped if it weren't for other companies that couldn't ship. So the whole project was put on hold because one brand or maybe another couldn't ship. And all of a sudden you're stuck with a whole bunch of inventory that you didn't need to be stuck with because y'all did a really good job planning. So congratulations on growth years. I mean, you had 2 phenomenal growth years during the pandemic. And just last week, I wrote up a story about you're the second camera company in the world to actually have AI integrated inside the camera, which is critical. And that story's linked from that QR code, the PTZ 310 series. Rachel, talk about that for a second.
Yeah, the PTZ 310 series. So we're excited. We just released 2 new versions with our version 2 chipset, the PTZ 310 UV2 and the PTZ 310 UNV2. So the N model has the latest NDI technology, the NDI HX3. So we're excited about that. We are offering this model in both 12 times and 30 times optical zoom. So we're super excited. We just did a press release a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and what's interesting about them is they're TA compliant, which is critical nowadays with all the talk about banning TikTok and things like that. All of a sudden, this has become an issue. And but you know, it's interesting because you also have a 313 V2, which is specifically designed for live streaming. That one also has AI auto tracking and auto framing built into it, which is kind of interesting. And it comes in a rAVe purple color.
It sure does. And that is because we're so excited about our partnership with rAVe Publications. So you will see that showcased at the E4 event live in Santa Clara. So you'll get to take that home with you. I don't know if we're able to show a photo of it on this live.
Oh, yes. Yes, we see it.
There you go. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. That is purple.
Yes. So can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it and play with it. We also, Gary and Steph, we are super excited because we just got this guy Microsoft Teams certified. So
that's so exciting.
Yes. We have, for those that don't know us, we're comprised of, 4 different business units. So we do have, outside of rAVe, we have our video conferencing division, our K-12, and we have our OEM division as well. So now this camera is taking you into much larger spaces. So our video conferencing division is focusing on the huddle spaces, medium to large. Now we're getting you into auditoriums with main stages and things like that.
Yeah, it has 12 times optical zoom, which is critical because you're not using that digital zoom as much. You're not, and don't even really need to with optical zoom. It's 12 times is a lot. So you can put that in the back of an auditorium and still zoom in and catch the presenter from the waist up, no matter where they walk, which is the critical thing about AI is that you don't have to have an operator for a camera in an environment like that. And especially as we're going to, I teach at UNC and we teach a lot of students that are traveling for sports events or get sick and they're joining by Zoom. And therefore, they have to be able to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us what we can expect between now and InfoComm. I know you've got some new products coming out. We'll both be at the E4 in 2 weeks. And we'll of course bring it. By the way, if you want to go to our website, ravepubs.com, and all you have to do is type in rAVe, AVER in the video search window, you'll see about 25 stories and videos, compilation of both on our website since the beginning of this year. But what can we expect between now and InfoComm?
Yeah, lots of good stuff. I think what we're really excited about is getting into the healthcare space. So we're launching some new products there that you're going to be seeing. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but we do have now our award-winning MD330 series for telemedicine, telesitting, remote patient monitoring. I mean, this, you talked about the pandemic. and everything that we went through. And, doctors and healthcare providers trying to find a way to bridge that gap of being able to see their patients. There's always a glass in between us. How do we do that? We do that through video. And, video has been rAVe's core technology for 20 plus years. And we've done some things with it, with audio, two-way audio, so that not only do you have the quality of video, but you have the audio piece too, because we've got to be able to communicate. So yeah, we just came back from ATA. We're headed to the HIMSS conference, which is, it's coming up. And these are all medical grade cameras. So, basically covers the requirements for basic safety and essential performance. A lot of people wonder, what is that? What makes it medical grade? But that's what it does. And, you want to have that a medical grade camera. There's lots of other cameras out there. And we're also the world's first with a detachable head camera. So
yeah, that's cool, because you can kind of turn it into a POV camera as well on the fly in a document camera. But here's the most important question. Have you seen season 3 of Mandalorian yet?
Have I? Oh gosh, don't hate me, Gary. I have not.
There's some really good surprises in there. This last episode was pretty good. I would say that show is as good as any movie that they've done. So I would highly recommend that you catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I need to. But yeah, we'll see you guys at the E4. We'll have that purple rAVe camera. You'll see us at some of the upcoming shows as well, like CFX, which is the House of Worship, a show happening in Charlotte, North Carolina as well. So that's in your backyard there.
Yeah, right in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I miss it. I haven't been back since I got to visit you guys in your lovely office there. So I hope the weather's got to be better than here in California.
It's beautiful today. It's 80 degrees, but it's going to be terrible this weekend, unfortunately. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Rachel. I'll see you in a couple of weeks at the E4 event, and we'll bring that camera to you live, and we'll bring it back, show it on rAVe TV as well. Steph, I wrote up a story yesterday about Sony's new spatial. Basically, it's a 3D display without the need for glasses. It's really kind of cool. Mm-hmm. It turns any content into 3D content, or it's used specifically for digital signage and retail applications. Yes. You can see that story online. It's the spatial. They call it the spatial reality display, and they now have it in a couple of different sizes. That was launched yesterday. And I don't know. I think this is an interesting technology because, obviously very specialized application stuff, right. But when you see it, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but at DSC, when I walked up and saw that, it was sort of like, wow, this really does look good.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. And it was hard because pictures don't, and our product video that we have of it, don't do it justice.
Yeah. You have to see it. It's like trying to show 3D on a, or trying to, show surround sound on an iPhone, right? You can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it.
But
you can. But Shure, by speaking of surround sound, Shure is that audio company that does some really killer things. And they've got, I know at Enterprise Connect, you shot a few videos of what Shure was doing. And one of them was about the STEM ecosystem, which we've talked a little bit about over the last couple of years. But Steph, do you want to show that video?
Yeah, let's roll that video.
Hey there, my name is Sean Parker here at Enterprise Connect. I am with Shure, and today we're going to show you the STEM ecosystem. So STEM ecosystem is a USB audio peripheral to your computer, and you have the choice of a unit here on the table. You have a hub which processes all the audio. You have a wall-mounted mic/speaker here, speaker unit here that's on the wall, right up here. And then this flying saucer lookalike is our ceiling array with 100 microphones built within it. Everything is powered over Ethernet cable, and it's also networked through Ethernet cable. And then the whole audio stream will connect to your computer via the hub. And then from there, you just select the inputs and outputs, and it's essentially a plug-and-play conferencing solution for all your near-end to far-end audio needs. Thank you. Oh, and the website would be shure.com. Check our conferencing section. You can see more about the Microflex ecosystem as well as the STEM ecosystem.
So that is only one of the videos that we have from Enterprise Connect 2023. And once again, I will be showing tons more product videos in just a bit, actually, in just 30 minutes at 1 p.m. Our time. It'll be an hour long, so make sure that you scan the QR code to join us for Replay Enterprise Connect 2023. But continuing on with our news, Avixa and HETMA have partnered for InfoComm 2023. And basically what this partnership is going to do is bring a program to the show for higher education technology managers, which is really exciting. This is a really important group of people in our industry, so I'm excited that this is going to be specialized education for those people at the show. So if you want more information about that, you can scan the QR code. And if you'd like to come to the show, if you're a technology manager who's interested in, participating, you can scan the QR code and register for InfoComm using our code rAVe, and you will get a free show pass, which is very exciting.
And another story on our website is Newman built an audio interface that basically anything in, anything out, vice versa too. So if you have digital audio in, you want to go out analog, you want to go out digital, you want to change connectors, but have it amplified. I mean, it's kind of an all in, all out device. And this is the first one that Newman's ever done. It's $1,850, but it will solve any of those applications that you have, audio applications in a room. And that's one of those things that kind of drives people crazy every once in a while. You just need this one last adapter. But it has multiple inputs. It actually has 4 inputs and 8 outputs. So you can go a bunch of different directions with this. So it can actually handle multiple rooms simultaneously or multiple sources simultaneously.
That's cool.
And I know you got a case study, don't you, Steph?
Yes, we're ending on a case study today that I think is just very cool. So Dot-to-Dot Communications and Scalable Display Technologies partnered for this immersive virtual reality solution. And basically what this does is it helps different patients and healthcare applications who are living with Alzheimer's. So basically what this immersive experience does is it kind of helps provide visual therapy to those who have Alzheimer's, which is very cool. I thought that was so cool and a very neat way to use VR to help people.
I went to the Future of Everything conference last year that Wall Street Journal did. And there was one of the speakers there that talked about how people with dementia or Alzheimer's using VR, right? In this case, you're using VR without a headset. They can, if they would take them back to their house that they grew up in that was modeled, or they would actually go to the house and shoot video of it, or they'd put images together from past, photos taken at the house. And then they would add music to it for that era. And they would start remembering things. So I totally get this. And I think
that's really cool.
It's cool. And that was with a VR headset on. So imagine without having to put the headset on, sort of immersing yourself.
Yes.
And then adding audio to it. I think that's critical.
That's cool.
Because
I really hate VR headsets. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the right one hasn't come along. I'm really interested to see what Apple does. I'm interested to see what Facebook's going to do with the new generation product.
They're too clunky and they're too heavy. And I have a remarkably large head. And so when I wear them for too long, I get tension headaches from like the squeezing that they do. And it I don't know, I hate them. So yeah, any chance that anyone is making one that's better or, big head friendly,
send one to Steph.
Let me know.
She'll test it out with her big head, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway, happy birthday, big headed Steph.
Thank you.
And enjoy your evening. And thanks for joining us for this edition of rAVe TV. We got a lot of coverage. In fact, Steph's going to be back in less than 30 minutes for Enterprise Connect, Replay Enterprise Connect. Tomorrow, Replay ISE West. And thanks behind the scenes to Abby, Steph, Carrie, everyone who's involved with Kelsey, everyone who's involved with rAVe TV. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV.